Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back. I do apologise for the length of time it has been since I've last posted. It's been an exceedingly busy time for me, so I haven't had a chance to do anything with the channel. But I'm back. Hopefully, I'll increase the frequency of these videos a little bit. But yeah, today we are going to be discussing something that's near and dear to my heart. Something I've been delving into for many years. One of my favourite subjects is conspiracy theories. Now, the reason we're touching on this today is conspiracy theory and false flag events. False flags are events that are made to look one way, but are actually something completely different, and they're designed for a purpose, for an end goal, for a purpose. So we're going to be delving into that today a little bit, and hopefully we'll sort of shed a bit of light on these kind of subjects, and hopefully you enjoy it. If you do, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get into it. So, as you can see from my shirt here, that letter there, the 17th letter of the alphabet, if you haven't heard of that, you've been living under a rock as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of discussion right now. Facebook and a lot of different platforms are trying to ban talk about that particular subject. Now, I always wonder why you want to ban something like that, a conspiracy theory. I mean, the supposed conspiracy theory. But nowadays, conspiracy theories are being referred to as conspiracy fact, because many of the things that we've always been told are conspiracy theories, there's a lot of new information that's coming out that shows there was something going on, and there is something going on. So this letter here, if you can't see it there, has been vilified through the media. For being a conspiracy theory, being a dangerous conspiracy theory at that, which I find rather odd, rather curious. If you consider all the conspiracy theories that there are, I mean, there's about everything. Those events that don't seem a bit quite right. For instance, 9/11, one of my favourites. They haven't banned talk of that, funnily enough. Yet they'll ban talk about a letter of the alphabet. Which is very curious. Why is that? Why is it so dangerous? Why is it talk of this particular thing, the 17th letter of the alphabet, so dangerous? Now, I've said many times to the people that know me and the people that I know about checking out the posts of this particular person or group of people. No one knows who it is, of course, hence the name Anonymous. But there's talk about that this 17th letter of the alphabet is military intelligence. Now, I don't know whether you noticed about 3 years ago, I think it was, that Trump was in a room full of military top brass, and he said to the media, have a look around you, this represents the calm before the storm. And the media went, what storm, Mr. President? And he went, you'll see. So what the 17th letter of the alphabet has been posting, if you go back, and I urge you all to do this, I want you all to go and have a look and see what the posts are all about and why they're so dangerous, and to who. So it doesn't advocate violence, it doesn't talk about doxing anyone. The main message is, as you can see on my shirt, the Great Awakening, the tagline, where we go one, we go all. Now, I don't know, maybe my command of the English language is a bit off, but where we go one, we go all is uniting rather than dividing. And I don't see that as dangerous. I see that as sharing information, which is what this platform is all about, is sharing information. Same with all the social media sites, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. It's about sharing information. Now, I share information that I find interesting and that I find to be resonates with me, as I'm sure you all do too. We all have different perspectives and different viewpoints, and that's great. That makes the world a diverse and wonderful place. We should be able to share those ideas without fear of reprisal. I mean, look, there are very definite laws are in place for hate speech and for doxing and those kind of things. I think they're necessary, but we should be able to have conversations about whatever we want. And we should be able to question the official narrative on everything. Now, this is what this letter is all about. is questioning the official narrative on events and practices that have happened, and people who have been involved in those events and practices. So, it's truth to power, if you like. Now, we supposedly live in a democracy. I don't know whether you believe that. I certainly don't. Being locked down taught me a lot. I didn't have a lot of trust for the government as it was. This has taught me everything I need to know about how centralising governments is not only foolhardy, but it shows, it's been proven during this lockdown, that they don't have our best interest at heart. So groups like this one here, and the people involved in it, the people researching it, the people looking at all the information that's shared, like myself, we're not about trying to bring about anarchy. We're trying to bring about a fairer system of governance where we have a say in what actually happens, rather than the nonsense voting that we've experienced up until now. So then if you look at the way that the social media platforms are behaving towards this particular entity, it strikes me as very, very strange. Now, there are many conspiracies. Bigfoot. There's shows on TV about Bigfoot hunters, monster hunters, ghost hunters. Now, surely, those are conspiracies as well, but they're not being taken seriously. They've got TV shows about it. They've been accepted into mainstream acceptance. And there's no trying to shut down of that. Possibly because it doesn't involve high-ranking political and banking figures, which, at the end of the day, the people who are conspiring, if you like, to rule over us and to keep us in a constant state of fear, panic, and concern about our financial state, because at any moment we could have another shutdown, and here in the UK it's very, very highly likely. I find it odd as well that we're going through this period of utter total fabricated nonsense for a virus that has a 99.97% survival rate. Why are we not talking about the survival rate? Why are we always talking about death rate? Because the deaths sound much, much worse. We're not talking about survival. And on a brighter note, no one's died of old age since March, which is amazing. But this fragility of the system that we live in, the banking system, this crashes all the time, and these central banking institutions are supposed to control this. But at the end of the day, you and I get the short end of the stick. So it's no wonder that people like myself and many, many people around the world are looking at information that's being shared, documents that are being shared, that expose the people and the crimes that they've committed. So, I find it curious that the social media platforms are banning one conspiracy and not another, which is very, very odd. Well, it's not really, if you know who's involved and what they're doing. Everything's being politicized nowadays. Everything. As you can see, it's raining here. So I'm walking along in the rain. The storm is almost upon us. For those who understand, great, and for those who don't, welcome to the party. You soon enough will. There is a lot going on at the moment. I don't know whether anybody's noticed that there's a storm in America coming in called Delta, which is kind of wonderful. Hang on, let me get that white there, see if that makes it a bit better. There's a storm coming into the US called Delta, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that. So let's see what happens with that. So as far as false flags go, let's go down that route. Now, false flags. Let's look at one of the biggest that people consider to be a false flag that's ever happened. It was 9/11. There's a lot of speculation about 9/11, whether it was an inside job, who was responsible, how it got done, how on the very day that it happened, there happened to be an invasion exercise in the US, and no one knew whether what was happening was real or whether it was part of the exercise. Then you had a couple of planes hit some buildings. There's pilots have testified to the fact that even with many, many years of experience, they couldn't fly the planes in the way that they said that they could fly them and hit the buildings with such accuracy. Virtually impossible, they said. Buildings, steel frame buildings, where the frame was on the outside. There's only 3 in history that's ever fallen down due to fire, and they all happened on the same day. We were told that the jet fuel was what caused it, even though the planes hitting the building that caused a massive explosion. I'm sure that was the jet fuel, but maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there's another secret tank of jet fuel somewhere hidden in the plane that no one knew about, that only erupted after the plane entered a building, after an aluminium plane pierced and broke a steel frame building. The things that are wrong with that story are mind-boggling. And one moment, I'll just wipe. We can do this with another wipe. Hopefully that's a bit better for you. The things that are wrong with that story are mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. But we're told the official narrative is that there was 19 hijackers, some of which are still alive, and they reported to their embassies in their home countries. 19 hijackers hijacked some planes. The passengers retook over a plane in Pennsylvania and crashed into a field, leaving no wreckage behind at all, which is kind of strange as well. It's a small bit of smoke coming out of a hole. I watched it live. I was in America at the time. I watched it live. The news reports were, the live reports were revealing, to say the very least. The first reporter to Pennsylvania said, "I see no wreckage of a plane. There's nothing here that even resembles a plane crash." Now the people are going to say, "Oh yes, but the plane vaporized on impact because of the jet fuel." Jet fuel is amazing, apparently. It can vaporize everything. It can vaporize 2 9-ton titanium engines, Boeing engines I think it was, on the Pentagon. I mean, amazing. I mean, I saw a plane crash a few years ago where there was a pilot, I think it was German, crashed a plane into the side of a mountain at full speed. It was like 700 miles an hour, hit the side of a mountain deliberately, and yet there were still recognisable parts of a plane. The tail section was there, the seats were there. That was crashing a plane into a building, into a mountain at full speed, and yet there was recognisable parts of a plane there. But here we are, the Pentagon, nothing there, nothing, zero, no parts of a plane. The jet fuel must be amazing stuff. I don't know why we don't use that instead of explosives nowadays. I mean, it's incredible. It can vaporize everything. One moment, there's another wipe. As you can see, the technical capabilities of this channel are amazing. But when you start to look at things like that, you've got a plane crash in Pennsylvania in a field that there's no wreckage of. Another plane crashes into one of the most heavily fortified buildings in the world, Pentagon, and there's no video footage of it coming in. That's amazing. Actually, no, there's 2 frames of footage from a car park camera. That's the only footage of a plane hitting, a plane that's not a plane hitting the Pentagon. And it pierced through two steel reinforced circles, I think they call them, of the Pentagon. So there was rings, outer rings, pierced through 2 of those. An aluminium plane apparently did that, with no wreckage, zero. Amazing. And this is the thing. This is where these conspiracy theories are born. Is that you've got situations that just don't make any sense. The official narrative of the 9/11 Commission was just utter bullshit. And people like myself, when we question it, we're called conspiracy theorists. Now, I don't know whether any of you know where the term conspiracy theory came from, but it was the CIA term, moniker, that the CIA put into place and put out into the public to discredit anybody that questioned JFK's assassination. There's another thing you should probably look at is Operation Mockingbird. I've talked about this before when I talked about the media, where the CIA and many other intelligence agencies, don't kid yourself, wherever you live in the world, I guarantee that there's intelligence agencies within the media, wherever you live, in control of the message that goes out via the platform. The CIA coined this term conspiracy theory to cut off people who are questioning JFK's assassination. And while we're on that subject, JFK's assassination, that a lone gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald, shot President Kennedy from behind. Magic bullet theory, I mean, that's just amazing. That's one single person shot the president from behind. Is utter nonsense. I mean, you can see the Zapruder film, I think it was, you know, where his head clearly gets shot from the front. So yeah, so many things are wrong with that story. But you know, the key thing for me is that sorry, we're just in the forest here, itchy leg. Yeah, all these things that don't add up, and we question it, and we should question everything. Why should we just accept what we're told? Doesn't make any sense. So these theories are born out of what is clearly something very, very wrong with the official story that we're told. You know, there's plenty of other examples, false flag events. If you look at what came out of 9/11, let's go back to that. So, false flag, they're looking for an outcome. What are they looking for to get from 9/11? You know, 3,000 odd people died, but that's a drop in the bucket. I mean, the people who orchestrate these kind of events, it's nothing. You know, they're more than willing to kill as many people as they want to get what they want. And who are they? That's the question. But we'll get to that in a minute. So, what did they get? What were they after? What were they trying to get out of this 9/11 event? Well, look at they went into Afghanistan. What's in Afghanistan? All the poppy fields that produce heroin, all the heroin of the world. So you can control the flow of heroin. You can control that money. So. And many other things as well. The person we were told was responsible, Osama bin Laden, was working with the CIA. It's been documented many times. You know, I'm not making that up. Go and look for yourself. He was working with the CIA to, along with the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, to get rid of the Russians out of Afghanistan, because everyone wanted to move in, including the Americans. So, you know, what do they get? What do they get? It was the rights to go into Afghanistan, oil and gas pipelines, controlling the poppy fields. I mean, all of it. So, you know, if you understand sort of who wins and who benefits from it and what they're going to benefit, then the picture starts to become a little bit clearer. In the weeks and months leading up to 9/11, I think the day before, they said it was something like 2 trillion was missing from the Pentagon budget, and then one of the buildings that fell down on that day was World Trade Center 7. World Trade Center 7, which was where they had the records for what they were looking into. There's 2 trillion that was missing. Sorry, excuse me. Very odd, very odd circumstances. So then we go into something like the Vietnam War, the Bay of Pigs, which was the event apparently that got America into the war. That's been since proven to be a false flag. So you know, all events along the way have been triggers for an event for a reason. And when you start to question those reasons, that's where these theories are born from. And it's a common thread. The big events, you know, like in the US where you have these massive school shootings, you know, we're always told it's a single shooter. Look at Las Vegas as well, you know, single shooter. Somehow a 60-year-old man got 20-something guns up to the room, thousands of rounds of ammunition. No one noticed. I mean, I don't know whether you've ever been to Vegas. I have. You can't walk anywhere without being on a camera. But yet this guy managed to get all these guns and ammunition up to his room with no one noticing. And then managed to knock out a couple of windows in that room without anybody noticing. Oh yeah, but he booby trapped the hallway apparently. Single guy did all that, even though there was recordings, video and audio recordings of multiple gunshots from multiple locations in Vegas at the time. So yeah, that official story doesn't add up either. You know, many events, and this is where conspiracy theories are born from, is these events that don't add up, and it's just, they don't make any sense. But if you look at what plays out after those events, school shootings is a prime example. What do they want to do in America? They want to ban guns. It's written into the Constitution, so it's never going to happen, but they want to ban guns. Why do they want to ban guns? Because Guns are there in the hands of the people so that they can defend themselves. Look, America's already been through a revolution where they revolted against the English rulers. So they wrote into their constitution the right to bear arms for the average person. So to ward off foreign invaders or domestic, the government, if the government was ever to get out of hand. They've been through that. So that's why they hold on to that Second Amendment, the Constitution, the right to bear arms. Now, if you want to get rid of guns so you can rule over the people without any fear of reprisal, what do? You need to have an event that takes the guns away from the people. So, these events where, it's always about children, because people react the biggest to children getting hurt and being injured. So, you have school shootings because that's the biggest trigger for people. Now, I'm not going to stand here and say that, or walk here and say that these events didn't happen or no one died or anything like that, because it's obvious that there's something happened, but I don't think it was the way that we were told that it happened. And for me, that's the key to understanding all this is the event and how we explained it played out. What does it all mean? Where does it all come from? Who's responsible for this this web of lies and nonsense that we're constantly dealing with? Well, people who are in charge of the money. So, the Titanic sinking. Interesting story about that. The people that were on the Titanic, Astor was one of them. He was vehemently opposed to the Federal Reserve being created. He and another two men who were also equally vehemently opposed to the Federal Reserve being created, a central banking system, all died on the Titanic on an unsinkable ship. So it's kind of weird, on its maiden voyage, kind of strange. But I'm sure it's just a coincidence. The people who are in charge of money and power in the world, they want to keep that money and power. They want to keep that influence. And how do you do that? If you need an event, you can have an event. You get enough money, you can pay for it, and they can create money out of nothing. So these are the kind of events that I question, and everyone should. So being called a conspiracy theorist is not the end of the world. It is, it's a rite of passage in some places, because just accepting what we're told is not the way to move forward as a society either. So the reason I make these videos is to spark that debate and have a conversation about what we're being told and the reality of the information that's being shared with us. I find it difficult to believe that we are being told the truth by people who are running the show, by people in charge of the power and the money in the world, corporations, bankers, politicians. There are a lot of interesting events that are happening right now. I urge you to look at them all and take a step back from the information that you're being told by the media, by the politicians, and just use discernment. Look at information and go and search for an explanation that actually makes sense, because most of the information that we're being told doesn't. What's the positive in this? What can I say is the positive in this? This information is being shared, whether people like it or not, by groups like this one here, and the way that I see it, the more there's pushback on a particular subject, group, topic, the more sort of close to the bone it is. And the reason that we're always told that we shouldn't talk about things is the very reason we should. Vaccines is a prime example. We should be able to have a conversation about vaccines. It's my body. It's my health at stake here. And I don't like being told what I can and can't do with my body. And if I'm not in control of my body, if like vaccines are talking about mandating them, if I'm not in control of my body, who owns me? Vaccines work. Okay, well, if vaccines work, then you have one. I have no problem with it. If you want one and it's available, then have one. If you feel that they work, then great. I've got no issue whatsoever. Same with masks. But I'm told, no, that's not how it works. My vaccine only works if you have one too. Same with masks. My mask only works if you wear one too. It's ridiculous. Yesterday I was a bit upset about the whole mask situation. I work in the restaurant industry, obviously, and the ridiculousness of these mask rules is beyond anything I've seen before. So you can walk into a restaurant. You have to walk into a restaurant with a mask on. You can't not. It's illegal. I mean, to walk in a restaurant without a mask on. Astounding. Okay. And then you sit down at the table and take your mask off, and that's okay. And people accept that and just go, yeah, that's right. I mean, in what parallel universe is that correct? Am I missing something? Is this the smartest virus in the world that only operates at this height when you're standing up? Well, the short people can't get it. So if you're a 4 foot tall or a little person, you can't get the Rona because it's not at your height. Is that how it works? I mean, it's ridiculous. So I urge you all to question everything, because most of what we're told is bull and the other half's all shit. And it's through questioning that we come to an understanding of our world, I will say reality, non-reality, what do you want to call it? The simulation, if you will. There's many people in this world that believe that we're living in a simulation. Smarter than me, Elon Musk is one of them, and I don't think they're wrong. I think this is all a simulation. Now, that leads me on to my final point, which is the positive of this, the positive spin of all this. So, if indeed we are living in a simulation, and I believe that we are, there's many things that have indicated to me that we can actually influence that simulation, our part in that simulation, and the outcome of that simulation by our actions, by our thoughts, and by our emotional state. Now, if we are upset, or angry, fearful, then that emotional state will deliver more situations for you to feel those emotions. The universe doesn't know this. The universe, we've been through the names. The universe, God, source, the source. I mean, the simulation, whatever you want to call it, responds to our emotional state and delivers more of those situations. Now, I can't discern whether we feel good or bad about it. Well, it does, but it just delivers those more of that you're focused on. It's where your focus is. Now, should we focus all our attention on conspiracy theories? Of course not. Should we focus our time and our effort on things that can enrich us and benefit us and benefit our society? Of course, that's where your attention should be. You need to understand all aspects. That there are nefarious people. We'll call them people, but I don't think they are, but that's another story altogether. Nefarious people are trying to pull off a rebalancing of power back into their favour, because people are starting to wake up. The Great Awakening. The Great Awakening. The people are starting to wake up to this nonsense that's been going on for, it's not just years, it's not just decades, it's millennia. We've been kept as prisoners in this simulation for as long as human history has been, So we can influence this game. We can influence what we experience. We can influence what comes into our experience through our thoughts, actions, and emotions. So I put it to you all. Have discussions with people. Don't try and bash them over the head with it, because it doesn't work. I've tried that. I've tried screaming at people. I've tried to be nice. I've tried everything. I really have. I've been on this journey for many, many years. And, people are going to call you an idiot, going to call you a conspiracy theory, going to call you all sorts of names. I've even had someone threaten to kill me. I mean, amazing. Good luck with that. But, at the end of the day, you have to stand by something, And if you're anti-establishment, if you look around and you see the politics and you see bankers getting away with, just the most horrific things, they brought down the whole world economy. Politicians doing the same thing. If you're looking around and you're seeing this and you're saying to yourself, there has to be a better way, there is. And it's down to you and I. We can't rely on top-down servicing us and helping us. We have to do it ourselves. So, where you put your money, where you put your time, where you put your energy, where you put your focus is when you get what you're going to get more of. I've spoke about it in previous videos. Go back and look at all my previous videos, because there is a story, a narrative arc that runs through all this. And I urge you to look at those. And there's a reason why I've done it this way, because it all comes down to money. Now, I've invested pretty heavily into cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, equities, those kind of things. Because what I want to do, if and when those investments mature and make me some money, I'm going to be investing in things that benefit society and benefit the people in the communities I work in. And that's up to all of us to do that. So I urge you to look at the videos I've made before, look at the information that's out there, and adjust your emotional and mental well-being state so that you can be of benefit to the world rather than being another corporate political puppet that they dance around with whenever they need an outcome for a particular agenda. Just look. That's all I urge you to do. Look, do a little bit of research, do a little bit of reading. Don't spend too much time on it because it's dark. There's some horrible dark things that have happened. But then once you understand it and you know what it is, then you know how to combat it. All right. Well, I've ranted long enough. I hope you've enjoyed today. If you have, then please click the like button. That really helps the channel. I'm up to about 26 subscribers, which isn't a lot. The problem is I work. I'm a normal person. I'm an average guy, just like you and anybody who's watching. Average guy or girl, welcome. But we all have an influence, and I want you to take advantage of that and use it. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye.